Well, welcome to Week 5 featured match of the Dominion League. As you can see, I'm not playing. This is between Kojii and catstealer, both of which I've certainly botched the pronunciation on. But anyways, this is in B2, which is the one that was. I don't know how to say it now that I've finished my matches, but I'm not in. And it's a very close division, so I've decided to feature a match from it this weekend. It's a little bit late for me, and I'm flying solo, so we'll see how I do making through the end of it, but see how things go. Both these players are currently tied for 5th in division, which is a demotion spot, but they are both one game out of being safe and even just 2 games out of a promotion spot. So if this goes lopsided one way or the other, it could be a particularly meaningful match in terms of the standings, who is going to A next season. So we'll see what happens. Our first board here has, I think really everything you could want, right? There's multiple villages. There's a couple draw cards, particularly Werewolf. Artist is also a draw card that might come in handy. And there's trashing Infirmary. It looks like catstealer has a 5/2 here, which is particularly nice for Infirmary. It won't end up being a 5/2. It'll end up being a 5 something else, assuming that catstealer does open the Infirmary. Shy is going to give kind of a funky decision on this to start out the game. Maybe not to start out the game. I think you'd certainly favor trashing estates with it. Although even to start out with the game, if you get a good trash on your first Infirmary buy, you might be thinking, I'm going to shy my Infirmary right away and get a second Infirmary buy. So, that's definitely a possibility. On this side over here, I think we're probably more likely to see something like I want to say Silver Infirmary open. It's not going to be the nicest thing. I think Kojii is probably at a bit of a disadvantage here. Well, actually quite a bit of a disadvantage here. If it were the 4, I would be kind of okay with it, but the 3/4 is certainly not that favorable. I think this is going to end up being probably an Infirmary open from them, with the idea that maybe we're gonna shy the second one. All right, so that was one estate out, and I guess you don't even really want to shy this one, because if you shy this one, you get 2 Infirmaries into this shuffle. If you don't redraw one of them, you're pretty sad about it. Anyhow, I think this is really going to be an off to the races case for catstealer. I do not like that second Infirmary at all. Like right now, I think this could have easily been an egg. I guess the idea is you're going to shy one of them, but kind of unconvinced by it. Or you're going to swap one of them out, I suppose, is your other option. Alright, we get to play both here, but it still feels like we're in not the most amazing position. It's like we're kind of matched on decks. This side has a Conclave. I'm trying to figure out where did one of. I guess you already had the swap. Okay. So now we're kind of even. It just looks like catstealer has as well certainly better thinned by a lot, and is kind of moving along here. Okay, this was definitely what you'd like to see with the swap. I'm fully expecting this Infirmary to become a Werewolf very suddenly. I'm actually surprised that we didn't get a Candlestick maker or Jewel Dagger in early. It's going to mean that we're probably going to see a looting buy pretty soon here, in hopes that that'll be a plus buy source. Yeah, figurehead, that's not a plus buy source, so that's going to be a disappointment, certainly. I'm not really sure how this is gonna pan out here. I think Kojii is taking a little bit of a lead, but there's it's kind of hard to say. Like this, you know, getting the figurehead out of looting was not what they were going for, certainly. But it's not like catstealer is getting a plus by either right now, so not really sure where things are at. I think catstealer actually could have maybe used another swap there, maybe you can swap into like a candlestick maker, and then have your loot source be more focused on like gaining and trashing eggs than having to do this looting. Kojii is definitely in a good spot at this point. It's going to take smugglers out. I mean, you could have gotten a lost city out of that smuggler. That seems pretty good. I think I'd be swapping the infirmary there. We're going to do one of them. Well, here's our plus buy play. So this is going to have to be like double egg, something like that. Be my guess. Just based on where this is trying to go. Second candlestick maker maybe makes a little bit of sense if you think you're going to be swapping it out. Although I think at this point, you'd much rather just be swapping out this, at least one of the infirmaries, certainly. You definitely don't need to be trashing more copper in the deck here. I always feel weird about this kind of stage, where it's like you have a deck that's drawn, certainly, but it's like it's off the backs of this +4 cards and potentially like +3 cards that are 3 out of 10 cards in your deck. Like, this is not necessarily a consistent thing going on here quite yet. Because it's like you get to the drawn deck and it's like, oh, I want to add payload, but at the same time it's kind of difficult just because clearly you're not feeling that consistent with it. On the other hand, you know, if you do add payload and you don't draw, like, you can add draw then. It's not like you are going to have a worse turn, right? So you know, you add payload, you dud, you have the same basically output as if you had added draw and drawn. So in this case, it's actually probably going to be better to be adding payload. Over on this side, we are a little bit under trash too, I suppose. Maybe compared to where we'd want to be. Which also makes it a little bit tough to be swapping out this infirmary, but yeah, smuggle an egg. What was it? Candlestick maker egg. I guess that's one reason not to smuggle the lost city, is so that your opponent can't, but it's so easy to gain, like, lost city. Like, if you gain candlestick maker, they can sure smuggle a candlestick maker and then swap it out for whatever they wanted. It's just kind of turns into a multi-step thing. So I'm going to guess that this is top decked an egg. Oh, we're going to infirmary the egg. That's exciting. Unexpected. Okay. Then I guess we're going to pick up... not sure about that candlestick maker again. Yeah, this is kind of the kind of turn that we're probably expecting over here this turn. But as you can see, like, it's hitting 8, so even if this swap fails to find anything, it certainly looks like a full turn over here. Alright, I'm fully expecting this candlestick maker to get swapped out for a draw card of some kind. I think Werewolf is fine. You could have done like the infirmary first and gotten this sword, which would been extremely nice to draw, and just kind of hope to draw it. Yeah. And now clearly this side, having gained that lost city, is going to end up drawing probably pretty okay. So much for only having the 8. Now it's going to be a full turn. This should be lost city first, I'm pretty sure. Like, there's an infirmary and an egg in here. Well, they're the last two cards, believe it or not. But I think it's still, no, it's really not okay, is it? You're not going to be able to play this loot. Yeah. Oh, there is no egg. See what I know. Alright. The sword is really nice with the lost cities. Just knock the hand size back down, even if it's probably not going to do a consistency wipeout at this point. I really love Werewolf, especially with 3 buys. Like, maybe you can put in another swap and some Infirmaries, perhaps. Like Infirmary is shy, so like you can get 2 or 3 of them, swap them out. I think that's probably a better way to be building up the draw, just because you do get that start of turn advantage off of them. Although I suppose with Figurehead coming in, it's not that big a deal. Might even look at like a looting here. I'm really not liking the Werewolf with the Figurehead coming in. I don't think the attacks are particularly valuable, and that's really all it's going to end up doing. Would much rather see a payload expansion this turn. Gee, you can't really do a swap, right? Like, the best thing you can get out of a swap payload-wise is Conclave or maybe a Smugglers, and we're trying to produce coins here. I'm not really sure where this is at. So maybe ignore what I said about doing like the swap. Well, you could go like swap Infirmary egg. Maybe you're okay with that, or you could like even order it so that you get the loot right away. Egg Infirmary overpay swap. Might have been an option. Yeah, I like that. Shield, no big deal. What you go after here is catstealer. Like you're gonna swap one of these candlestick makers. I almost feel like it has to be into a conclave at this point. Just the absolute best thing you can do is get more money for this turn. Well, I'm not really sure what you're doing with it, so maybe this lost city is appropriate. Although, like, you get the more money and then you buy the lost city. I suppose you don't get the sword effect on it, though, but who cares? Like, there's a figurehead out. There's no way that you're going to induce anything too terrible to happen over here. I mean, put out 8, it just looks terrible next to a 14. Another egg, I mean, that'll be another loot, but again, it's just not keeping up on the payload front. Smuggle another lost city. Maybe we're going to smuggle a swap. We have quite a bit plus buy. I don't think we really need to be holding on to the candlestick makers. Yeah. It's like I'd so much rather see a conclave here out of one of these candlestick makers than really whatever else. It's 2 coins. What more do you want? And that could also be another Smugglers. Just one thing that could happen over here is that you just go really, really hard after our lost city this turn. Just say like, here's the turn I'm giving you, and this is going to be the last time I'm giving you a turn. It's kind of a common thing to do with lost city. don't feather it out where you're helping them out a lot. This could be double Lost City Egg, for example. Be an okay set of buys. And then maybe the Werewolf will do Poverty, although I think we already saw that one, so probably not going to be Poverty, just as a guess. That's like the one hex we've seen, right? Where is it? Right there. Poverty. Turn 7. Let's just get all of our draw into the deck and then go from there. I don't think anything's like low enough that you're particularly worried about, stuff piling. And at this point, you've gained 1 Lost City. Opponent seems to be in an okay spot draw-wise. You're really going to get anything out of, anything else? You're really ambitious. I guess you could go like Egg Infirmary, Lost City when we were talking about before. You do like the double egg and then overpay for Infirmary. That's a way that you can produce quite a bit of payload pretty fast. Triple egg Infirmary overpay. I kind of rather do that on turn when I'm playing the figurehead. This deck's probably pretty stable, but it could be more stable, right? Before you do something like that. I don't know why you stop at 1 egg. Are we gonna add? The only thing that really would make sense there to me is adding another Lost City. Okay, that's what happened. Ooh, diluted. That one is pretty nasty. Although, I think catstealer's target this turn is still just kind of egg. You could buy looting. I don't think that piles are really close at all. For the most part. You certainly don't need to buy out of these candlestick makers if you're going to be diluted. So maybe they turn into smugglers. Maybe even both of them turn into smugglers. I'm thinking. You can swap out of the smugglers in the next turn. Let's just get these last 2 Lost Cities right now. And, having the smugglers in the deck is actually a better thing than not, just because you do have these swaps. Yeah, I don't see why you would go directly to Lost City instead of putting the smugglers in the deck too. I don't think there was an actions problem that I was missing. No, there's like 2 Lost Cities remaining. There's no way there was an actions problem. So I'm thinking probably egg looting here. Or you might be thinking it's time for a province. I believe that you would be a little bit scared at this point. Certainly. Are there any spare eggs last turn, or can we swap this? We can swap this Infirmary out if we want. Probably you do over really anything else. Still feel like there's definitely room for a Conclave on a lot of these turns. I think that's just going to perform a little bit better money-wise than really anything else you can do. More draw is not the most useful thing ever. I guess there's also probably room for another swap over on this side. You could go Infirmary to swap and then swap out the Candlestick Maker. Would be a move. That seems okay. And if you're not winning, there's no real point in keeping around these Candlestick Makers. They stink. And if you need the plus buy later, you can swap back into them. Like if your target is going to be, I need to buy a province this turn, let's get enough money so that we can do that plus, more stuff. So I am thinking swap here. I guess you've played both Lost City and a Werewolf, which makes the Conclave a lot less appealing. Now that I mention it. Like it's not going to be a village for you. Or you could think that a Werewolf attack's actually going to do something, which actually you know at this point that it won't, because we've gotten the shield autoplay info reveal thing. The thing with Werewolf is like the rules are such that you're supposed to react to it. Like you can react to any attack even when it's not attacking, and then they know that it doesn't do them any good to be playing Werewolves during their night phase because they know that this thing is in hand. And like even if you turn off the autoplay, you still get to react, and you have the pause, and so they know it's in hand. So something went wrong here. In that there is not a gain in play happening. Is this a win? This is just estates, isn't it? Yeah, this is just estates. Okay, that's why we're keeping the egg around. Yeah. Yeah, you see how much good that province did. Well, 1-0. I think that one was going that way for a while. Catstealer, I thought had the better start, but then was really slow on the payload stuff. I think the second Infirmary, when it happened, was not the greatest thing ever. Maybe that could have been an egg at that point, and you start to build up a little bit quicker. The second Infirmary also, I think, was bought on 3, which, if you're buying a second Infirmary, I really would like to see it be an overpay. Right. Alright, anyways, on to a new board. New board's kinda lacking in village. I don't know why I say kind of. It's very lacking in village. The only village you really have is city-state, which, like, you have to play, 4 baubles and then blockade experiments, playing them both. That's a village. Is it a good enough village to go after? Probably not. Probably your main focus is more going to be just doing, hunting party governor. The one advantage of, I guess, having the village is that you can maybe put a Marquis or hunting grounds in for a little bit of draw that isn't this, but like hunting party's good draw, experiments good draw. Like, you don't need to be doing that. So terminal wise, I'm thinking it's probably blockade for experiments. Ideally every turn. And if you can do that, it sure looks bad for your opponent to be taking curses with them, because the trashing here is weak. So if you're doing that, what are they going to do? Not a whole lot, right? I mean, I'd take experiments. Probably with this Bauble thing is also okay. You can take a favor and top deck off of it, top deck the experiments right now. Not a huge deal. Or you can, blockade experiments right now. That also seemed pretty good. Must say. So now I think as catstealer, you're just trying to get this consistent blockading experiments thing going, because even this buy could be experiments. I think you'd be pretty happy with that. Love the Poacher. I'm not sure what the Poacher's supposed to, do for you. Like, if your goal is going to be consistently blockade the experiments, I think it's going to be, you want to be finding blockade each turn, which means finding Blockade this next turn. Probably taking a hunting party with it. It's going to end up looking pretty good. The 2 curses on Poacher just don't really mean anything. I'm fully expecting this to be Governor, or not Governor, Hunting Party. What are we talking about? You want to get some hunting parties in before Governor, because if you're going to be running this Blockade experiment thing, the most important thing is that you maintain that. And that's part of your draw, right? Blockade experiment is what, like +3 cards or something. So that's pretty good. Okay. Everything as expected. The question of how many hunting parties you grab before starting to go into the governors, I think probably 1 more. And then next turn you can look at doing the city-state governor thing. That times out about how you want it. The trashing is so light, it's actually really, really rough for Kojii over there. Just because, continuing to blockade the poachers just stinks. That is so not what you want to be doing with blockade, but, unlike when it's a blockaded village or something, you're not going to be taking 2 curses for 2 experiments. That makes no sense whatsoever. So it's really hard to cut it off with no trashing. So I think this is just looking... It's looking kind of sad over on that side, quite frankly. The other thing is, I guess, as catstealer continues to, buy these 5 costs, you maybe are looking at another Bauble, which I think they gained as making the Smugglers essentially non-terminal. So that'll be something else to watch for. This just has to be experiments. I'm not... I don't think there's anything better you can be doing. One thing that'll be interesting to see here is what catstealer does with what I assume is going to be a governor. You could even think about remodeling this experiment into yet another governor or hunting party. I mean, those 2 cards are certainly better than experiment. Trashing a state into something does not look like a thing. Or are we just... I guess we're just going to try to wait to see if poachers aren't blockaded one of these turns, save up the city-state. I think that's reasonable, too. Well, it does put a little bit of pressure to keep the... Well, I guess we're not going to keep the blockade on Poacher. So, I guess we're keeping the city-state around to... It can either be a governor at the end of this turn, or it can be a remodel into Poacher mid-turn here. I guess it'll be a governor at the end of this turn. Remodeling would be my guess as to what's going to happen. The other thing about this governor remodel thing is that even if you're blockading experiments, blockade only applies on the other player's turn, and so they could be remodeling their estate into experiment as you go. Something to watch out for with this governor. I don't even know if you actually want to be remodeling estates with the governors. Potentially it seemed better to just be gaining gold. But this could and totally should be estate into experiments, I think. Or we think that we're playing our smugglers is the most important thing, which maybe it is. Clearing the estate out now into experiments just seems so much higher value than losing a blockade that you could also be losing later. I think that's more of an opinion question than anything else, though. I'm not going to go and say this was the right thing or wrong thing to do on that one. It's just a feel, as it often is. So these governors have got to start gaining golds pretty soon. I think one of them probably should draw so that you can go up and hit 10. I think. Does that hit 10? Let's see, there should be at least 2 more coppers in there. It could be close. Well, there's an experiment in a hunting party, so we're definitely hitting 10. And this one's going to gold gain. Yeah, like this. Yeah, that's the one thing about hitting 10 this way is that maybe you play this experiment so that you don't have to expend your Bauble, or you get your city-state still. I guess it's going to be the case. I think I'd take this back and maybe leave a copper. Like, if I'm going to do a governor play, I might rather actually go copper to Bauble than estate to whatever else, right? Otherwise, if I'm doing a gain and play with, or gain and play of governor, I mean, I'm not doing a gain and play of governor. I'm going to wait it until next turn and maybe remodel into Poacher then. It's kind of unimpressive. I think I'd favor another hunting party here too. More governor. You know, one of the things is, like, even if you do have non-governor draw in your deck, if you have too much governor, you will be drawing with governor. This is the thing, is, like, you want to have non-governor draw, but you do have to strike a balance still. I guess we're going to see the same thing here. There's a top deck and plausibly a governor play. No, we're waiting that for mid-turn also. Either, I guess, silver into one of the 5 costs. I also think catstealer could really do with another plus buy. It provides a lot more threat. You know, we can see governor, hunting party, even Poacher getting low right now, and so assuming both governor and hunting party do end up piling, which, I don't know, isn't the most guaranteed thing ever. Certainly I'd like to be able to have a little bit more endgame reach right there. I mean, Poacher to something's got to be a good move, right? I think. Whether it's governor or it's hunting party, I'd sure like to do that. I also really hope catstealer is able to find the other blockade here, because, like, if we're talking things that you want to be sure to blockade, experiment is much higher on the list than... Yeah, okay. Experiment's much higher on the list than Poacher, and, like, Koji's about to be able to blockade experiments right now and cut you off of them. Does city-state only work on your turn? Oh yeah, it does only work on your turn. That's brilliant. In any case, we didn't find the blockade, so, you know, this blockade of a Poacher is pretty dang sad, must say. What's like the radical suggestion buy here? The radical suggestion buy here would be Province Bauble. No, the Smuggler's going to be none too happy about its life. I really, really hate this Poacher blockade over experiments. I mean, you're going to draw a lot with Governor, but drawing with Governor stinks. Just does. So now what? We can smuggle a blockade, play it, get our experiments going. Probably don't take 2 hunting parties because that's going to be game losing. Foresight province, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So catstealer is going to have to green a little here. I'm not loving playing that Governor over the shuffle before maybe putting a little bit of gold in. Considering I think you definitely need to be taking at least 2 provinces this turn. Yeah, this is not good. I mean, I guess you don't need to take 2 provinces, but I'm also looking at this deck and kind of wondering, where is its actual threat coming from? We take 1 province and then the other side is maybe going to take, 2, and then you can't take 4, and you're kind of toast. If you go ahead and you take 2 provinces that turn, maybe you can actually take 3 the next turn, if enough opponent Governor drawing happens, which you never know. Still, at the same time, like you've been skipping blockading you skip blockading experiments the 1 turn, which is just really, it's really a problem. It's just misprioritization of what to blockade first. Assuming that you will draw the right thing. Really what I would attribute it to. On the other hand, suppose that there are 2 provinces, probably you're looking at one of these situations where you just do not draw with Governor and hope that the best possible outcome happens, which is that the opponent has some kind of fail turn. What am I going to do here? I don't love that remodel to Duchy. I think that could be to Hunting Party. You'd be much happier about that. Or even a draw, potentially you'd be okay with, and be able to buy Province Hunting Party on top. Maybe Foresight's better. Well, we're not drawing with Governor. Certainly. But on the other hand, now we're just losing to a double province, which is so totally not what we want to be at. There's not going to be enough Duchy remodels to overcome this. We draw with this one because our entire goal is buy another we already have the other province. Never mind. So maybe this is a remodel to Duchy, not sure. Would you be happier with this Duchy as a hunting party? Maybe not. Although, even without that, if you're at however many points, I think you'd still be happy taking another province, and that would be that. Whoa! Okay. The surprise is that the Smugglers doesn't do anything. We'll see if we are feeling like we can undo that or not. This is a undo philosophy thing for us. consideration. What is your philosophy? Is Smugglers not gaining anything information? Is where is this a line that we draw? In some case, like there's a major argument that it just doesn't matter, because this province buy is just going to kind of win the game, especially since it's going to come with... No, it isn't going to come with top-decked experiment, especially since it's going to come with a Foresight, I guess. I have a really hard time not counting 3 things into a single bauble. Okay, this is apparent. It's one where we ask about it. Foresight in the province. Yeah, this just seems so over. Especially with the 2 poachers in hand, this is totally not happening. If you're catstealer, I guess does a province and 3 duchies do it like 15 points? No, that doesn't even do it, so it would take 2 governor remodels, even with that, and so like, even if there were no poachers in hand, you would have to do, you know, these 2 governor remodels, and then still somehow hit 15 with both your baubles. It seems far-fetched. Alright, well, there's the duchies. Yeah, okay. Alright, 2-0. And very quick going into this game. Kind Emperor. Rustic Village is the thing, so probably you'll see that happen. Maybe not. There's some argument here that like Walled Village is going to be better than Rustic Village early, or if you go after University, you're not going to need the Rustic Villages, like it's going to be worse than Advisor. I'm not actually so convinced that Kind Emperor is going to happen. I was thinking like Kind Emperor is going to happen, why do you need to buy Potion for University, but clearly that's not going to be the case. I think the best open in that case is going to be Potion Black Cat, and then we're just going to try to get tons and tons of stables. Interesting, going after the count trashing. I mean, it's the only trashing, it's just that you can kind of probably do without. Ooh, that's a seriously terrible draw. Like, seriously terrible draw. I'd have just taken stables right away. Like, also because, if you think about this right, you take stables right away, you can really cycle through stuff, get the count with a University later. You can probably draw a deck just fine, you know, without doing this trashing. And then, if you need to clean up, sure, do it. But I kind of doubt that you do. It's not like count gives you, you know, anything against Black Cat either. Well, we are moving along. This is a thing that happens in University games, that people tend to get like way ahead of me because they're gaining all this stuff. I am still stuck on trying to figure out what I'm doing on the board at the same time as they're gaining all this stuff. But I mean, it's all the stuff that we expect them to be gaining. It's stables, it's whatever. Catstealer is going to clear out all their estates. It's pretty good. I think, like, if you get the 2 count plays where it clears out all of your estates, you're not too unhappy with that. I think it's mostly benefiting from Koji's, like, absolutely terrible turn 5 draw. Just, like, not playing any of the stuff that you wanted it to be playing. Even the potion misses the shuffle after that. Like, this is just a terrible sequence. This is going to be really... It's basically impossible to judge whether the count was any good, just because like this was that bad. The draws have been that bad over here. Yeah. Yeah, you can see catstealer buying some provinces, which is... or not provinces, buying some coppers, which is always a kind of a sign. I don't know. It's a sign. Stables, 3 coins. I don't even know what to say about this game at this point. University, stables. Count has a weird interaction with stables in that, like, Count does these mass trashes. Mass trashing with stables is always, you know, scary because of hands like this one that we're looking at over there right now. I also think, like, as you, yeah, this advisor is probably more where it's at. Like, as you were trashing down extremely with Count, you might have been able to lay off the stables a little bit more. Because, like, advisor becomes, I mean, advisor's, like, good once you're thin, and certainly if you're getting those trashes done, you're thin. There's also, like, this 10-point colonnade, 10-2 colonnade lead. This is so extremely one-sided. I don't really think it's anything that kojii did. It's just the turn 5 draw was so bad. It's impossible to point to anything. Yeah, now we're responding to this dud turn by just gaining tons and tons of advisors, which I think is fine. Like, yeah, you can do that. One thing is that catstealer is, like, not gonna have to, or I keep saying like, but catstealer should not have been trying to green. Like, there is no reason to do an invasion here. You have such a point lead, and what does this invasion even, like, get you loot-wise that you don't otherwise have? Like, just get a bunch of advisors in a university. Like, you're gonna win this game. Let's not get crap into the deck. Right? Just so unnecessary. So unnecessary. Like, this side over here is the one that has to be greening, not you. I just clicked over to make sure this was actually recording, because I forgot. And it is. Now I can see if anybody's yelling at me in matches. It's that my audio is screwed up. It's not. Amazing. I'm taking this break from commentating to look at this stuff, because I don't think there's, like, any game here. I think this is actually appropriate from this side, in that you just want to lower piles way down in hopes that there will be a bad turnover there. I mean, they just ate 3 curses for no reason, so why not see if those curses are going to end up doing anything? Like, you lower way down, probably you buy a province here, and then see if, you know, you can get your next turn to work. Like, bam, black cat. No more black cats. Oh, no more mining roads. I'm not sure about that one. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, should have been no more black cats. Gotta cut off the draw. Even so, you know, this is not a great turn. only going to be buying province over here. I don't think there's enough to really respond to it. Ooh, this is a trash. I am not convinced. There's no plus buy over here, so it's not really an issue, but I was pretty unconvinced there. Like this I like the just continuing to lower piles. Just under the theory that, like, I need duds from you. I love it. Obviously, it's not going to work a second time, because, you know, stables. Does catstealer only have, like, one? I think catstealer only has, like, 2 treasures left in deck? No, 3? I don't know. I'm making up numbers until I get it right. 3 treasures left in deck. You know, wonderful stables. I mean, this'll be a really straightforward win. It's just 4 treasures, potion. See what I know. It got close there. I think the invasion was so bad. Like that was what allowed this to be close. I don't know if it looks like it's actually close, but why would you do that? Like, they could have 3 black cats. Oh my gosh. Oh, I guess that was just playing the 1 copper. Okay, never mind. That was fine. That was a duchy gain off count. I was thinking that you just, like, bought duchy on 5. It's okay. These things happen. Yeah, there's that one really terrible draw, but that was almost a blown game. So I guess it's 2-1 now. That sounds right. What is this game? 1, 2, yeah, 2-1. Maybe I should, like, make a scoreboard, but that'd be a lot of work. 2-1. Alright, borrowing for Rice Broker. What do we think of this? We think that this looks like a pretty good idea to be borrowing for Rice Broker. There is Witch's Hut with some stuff, as is being pointed out in chat. I guess that's going to end up being most of your game is Witch's Hut Weaver gaining village greens. It's not quite as good as gaining trails, but we're gonna be choosy here. The thing is like getting Weaver and Village Green in your deck early is actually not particularly impressive, which is why going up and getting the Rice Broker, maybe going up and getting a Witch's Hut looks pretty sweet. I actually could kind of see opening either one of these things. Just because the Witch's Hut is going to get you a little bit more go through the deck than Rice Broker initially, so like, if you open Rice Broker, you're actually, Rice Broker nothing, you're actually like, substantially less likely to hit 5, on your next shuffle than if you open Witch's Hut. Which is the argument for going Witch's Hut first, is you get both more cycling and you get to probably hit 5 again, so I'm actually kind of liking that. Wolf's going to hit 4 here, which is surely going to be Weaver for both of them. The Witch's Hut missed, which certainly makes it worse than Rice Broker, I must say. Although I guess it's not like the end of the world. You can borrow for another Weaver and probably be pretty happy with your life. Right. Meanwhile, like, catstealer is probably going to want to be trashing the state here over copper and buying a what? Who knows? Hey, you can get this off of 5-2. You open 5 nothing and your 5 misses. So I mean this was the problem we had with Ricebroker, right? Is that you don't hit 5 again for a bit. This Village Green can go next turn. That's pretty sweet. Get another Witch's Hut. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm actually not so sure about that Witch's Hut. I think this could have been a Ricebroker, because if you look, this Village Green is going to trigger a shuffle right here, and you're about to collide 2 Witch's Huts without. Maybe you'll get another Village Green here, but you're being really, really dependent on finding one of those things on these top 2 cards. So, like, if one of these were a Ricebroker, that would be a little bit better. Yeah. See? What can we say? I've barely been paying attention to the catstealer side. I've been so much more excited about what's happening over there. There is a Witch's Hut in here now, so we can't be, like, ignoring it, continuing to ignore it. We're a little bit light on econ. I don't know at what point you're, like, looking at 2 silvers as a possibility. Although we started to curse, so I think this can just be another Witch's Hut. Like, this is how your deck works. You can do the Witch's Hut when you need a little bit of economy boost. You can do the 2 silvers. And probably you don't even need that yet. So yeah, I think things definitely looking better over here. Okay. Yeah. The Witch's Hut missing was bad. I think I preferred it in the opening. Witch's Hut missing was bad, and then buying the second Witch's Hut over Ricebroker when that happened, that was really not a good move. Anyways, we're on to a new board with it tied 2-2. Somebody is very much hoping that they're going to get to 4-2 with this match, because 3-3 is like the absolute worst result for both of them. You might as well go 4-2 or 2-4 if you're going to go 3-3. I don't know if that makes any sense. You're supposed to play, like, you should take pride in winning all of the games you can. Anyways. This board looks rough. I think really the only thing going on is Minion. Minion shuts down Farrier stuff. You do have a little bit of trashing support from Minion and Raze. There's no villages, so it's just like, you know, Minion, maybe stick an Artisan on the end of it. You can try to, like, I guess you can try to put a Graverobber in on the end of it later. That can give you a little bit extra province threat. If you get enough Minion, you could also start to try to maybe accumulate some Artificer with plus buy and maybe get up to double province that way rather than using the Graverobber. But if they both end up kind of going the same way on this, which is the heavy Minion, I'm not seeing much of it. Double Raze. I am not impressed with double Raze. I think Raze Silver or Raze Farrier overpay if you have a 3-4 like is over there on the catstealer side. And I'm not just saying that because the 2 Razes both saw like 3 coppers here. I think it's kind of unimpressive. Okay, well, catstealer does not get up to Artisan. But even so, you know, I think you could even do another Farrier overpay here and get up to Artisan that way. I mean, there's no Minion threat yet, so put it in while you can. Your other option is, of course, buy the Minion, but I don't think that actually really helps you hit 6 next turn. So that would be the reason to do the Farrier overpay if Artisan is really a target for you, which I think it is. I mean, you want to be gaining these 5 costs. Yeah, this'll hit Artisan. Take the Farrier. Yep. The next trick is really going to be actually finding that Artisan consistently, which isn't going to happen until you start putting Minion in. At this point, you're very wary of doing a Farrier overpay, just because it doesn't work amazingly. Look at that Artisan right on top there. Isn't that fantastic? Minion that will surely get well, may not get discarded. Don't overthink this. Put the Minion on top. Like, if it gets discarded, it'll just be in your next shuffle anyways. It's fine. I'm actually pretty unconvinced by this Minion discard attack right there. Just because your other option is Artisan. On the other hand, I'm not sure that anything's going to make that much of a difference in this game. So, yeah. I actually really hate this Vagrant. Like, I don't know why you would be buying Vagrant over either Farrier or Raze ever, really. Like, it could draw this estate that you're about to, or that you're trying to ditch anyways, whereas you'd much rather be raising it. I mean, you can't do both, but like, plus buy, maybe you get a copper trash versus anything else. Certainly seems better. And worst case, you self-raise the Raze and it sees just as many cards. Yeah, buying Changeling is never a thing that is a good sign for your deck. It means it's kind of a desperation play. Well, it's not kind of a desperation play, it is a desperation play. It's either like a play where you're really, really confident. If your deck's good, buying Changeling means that you're really, really confident that you're gonna like draw it with the stuff you want, like catstealer is doing right now. Whereas if your deck is bad over here with kojii, you're just trying to, pair it with a minion, which is apparently going to happen. I'm also ascribing words like good and bad to these decks where, well, catstealer is still holding an estate somehow. So this may not actually be the most accurate depiction of things. I just was really unimpressed with Koji's early draws and so have assumed that catstealer is ahead, although I'm not sure that that's actually true at this point. When we look and we observe that there is still an estate sitting right here. Like, what's this going to be? This is going to be a double minion. That's exactly what kojii did. Alright. My assessment of who is ahead has certainly been off. This side over here is much better trash. I guess catstealer, ditched all their Razes and has never gained another one. Yeah, that Vagrant's looking pretty sad. Yeah, I think we just tied the minion split, or won it. I think tied. And now what's this Changeling gonna do? Yeah, losing all the Razes and not replacing them has not been a good thing at all. Duchy. What's Duchy supposed to do? I don't know. I don't really love the self-trashing Raze rather than just continuing to clear copper. Like, I don't really think that the Farrier Raze piles are particularly close to being gone, even as we add Artificers. And at the same time, you're going to be starting to add green cards, and so thinning out the rest of the copper to make your minion draw actually work becomes more and more important. I see essentially no path to victory for catstealer here unless, just the minion draws just go crazy bad. Just because, as I say, as you start to add, this crud the green, your deck's gonna stop working. Like, there's too much junk in it. The path to victory is somehow slow piling Raze and Farrier and having Kojii not notice somehow. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I think this might be like the first time. No, I mean, I've done recorded games against them, so I don't think that's the thing. I was going to say, like, this is the first time I've seen them play. I don't know if they do stupid stuff, but they're in the probably they don't do stupid stuff. I imagine this is just a province. Like, I mean, the other thing that can happen is because you just doesn't buy green, and then, you know, the deck is good, but the points aren't there. I guess that would be the other hope. Yeah, I'm not loving this Changeling gold. Like, I don't think you can put it together well enough. Just keep gaining Artificers, gain Graverobber, be able to double province that way if you want to be able to double province. The added treasures, it's just going to be impossible to draw at some point. Oh man, we're finally getting this estate out. It's amazing. Please do it. Catstealer can keep putting it together just enough. Definitely seems to be happening. You can gain a copper to not shuffle here. Is that a thing? I mean, it's a thing you can do. I don't know if it's something that you... I think you should be doing it. I think you should be gaining a copper to not shuffle. Oh, there's a minion. You should have not been gaining anything. Never mind. You just keep buying duchies, or you could do like Raze Farrier. And just really lower stuff. This gold Changeling just did not work for me. I mean, you're in a good spot to be provincing. You can even province duchy with the Artisan. Who cares about Graverobber? And I mean, I think had catstealer just gone all out, let me lower everything, there would have been definitely a threat of losing this next turn, rather than the Artificer, which, although it represents a gain. Yeah, okay, so we're trying to put King's Cash Gold together, which will happen like once, or twice, or 3 times. Maybe that's okay. But I really do think had catstealer just bought 3 Farriers last turn, there definitely would have been quite a large threat to be winning this turn. That is, rather than the Artificer. There still might be. It's not like that far-fetched, right? You get... No, okay. I was gonna say you get here. This gains a Changeling, but then you're still short, right? I mean, I guess you're gaining another Artificer. I don't think Koji's going to be triple provincing this turn, so I think it's actually still just fine, right? I mean, you gotta go find a Farrier with this. See, you're not even getting King's Cash and Gold together once. And here's all your minions, and these 8 cards are terrible. And you're not actually going to see this dungeon. You're going to see whatever terrible things are in these 4 cards. Yeah, let's get a Raze. Well, it's almost there, actually. I mean, you can self-raise this Raze to go find a treasure, and if you do, it's a win, right? No. You need to find an Artificer, or... Well, no, you needed to find a Minion. You could find an anything. You don't need the card, okay. Yeah, I think that this was an overbuild. Like, I think that this was a deck that was quite a bit better if it had just kind of greened against catstealers, and it didn't. What? It's only 5 games, isn't it? Oh, we're doing a pre-GGs now. That's no good. We can't be doing that. It's too confusing. I can't deal with this. I hope Kojii wins. This is just not right. Anyways. What? Man, it's so weird. Well, this board has a village, has a couple villages, Hunting Lodge, Landing Party, Litter, has some draw, Imperial Envoy. It also has village and draw under Joust, which is pretty good. The start would appear to be Monument Silver. You Monument Trash an estate, get Silver. That seems like a pretty clear opening. Probably your big target early is Hunting Lodge. It's not actually that clear that it should be Hunting Lodge. Like, you don't actually gain a lot of advantage from cycling through with Hunting Lodge. There's not a whole lot of things that you want to play a lot. You more want to just be like going up and reaching your big numbers. The one thing that you could be trying to play a lot with Hunting Lodge is Ironworks. You could be Ironworksing landing parties or Ironworksing more monuments, which actually seems okay. You can Ironworks monument, trash out a bit more, be playing them with Hunting Lodges. Alright, I'm convinced. Open monument, trash estate, open silver, try to get an Ironworks and a Hunting Lodge in. You know, trash more with the Ironworks, gaining more monuments, get more Hunting Lodges. At some point, sure, you want to do the Joust thing, but who cares about that, right? You're getting so many points out of monument, like... I mean, that's not really, like, you do care about Joust, but I think you can get a pretty decent deck running that's this Hunting Lodge monument kind of draw to X thing going on. So yeah, let's see a Hunting Lodge here. I can totally believe that just going straight after Province is also a totally legit thing to do. I do not believe that Falconer is a totally legit thing to do. At all. Like, I do not. It's terminal, and it doesn't draw. Like, I don't see what it's doing. So here I'd like to see an Ironworks, and then next turn I'd like to see a Hunting Lodge. Could also be another monument. Like, you have the estates right here. Why not? I wonder if you, like, take a monument here and then buy Hunting Lodge next turn. No, you can't hit 8 with that. You'd have 2 monuments and 3 coppers. But, you know, you do that, then you take a Joust, you're already hitting 8. That said, that's, like, so pipe dreamy. I'd totally just take Ironworks. Okay. I am much preferring what's going on over there. So much preferring what's going on over there. Now catstealer has 3 terminals. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be buying Landing Party to activate the Falconer? Not loving it. We're gonna be buying... what? Pillage to activate the Falconer? Come on. I mean, maybe you can kill a turn with it, so what? Just killed your own turn by playing Pillage. It's no good. I think Kojii probably could have waited one more, Oh, we're buying Falconer to activate Falconer. Now that's one I didn't see coming. You get enough hunting lodges in, you can start to gain landing parties with them. Maybe it's alright. Now here we have province. I just buy the province. Darn, it missed. Well, that stinks. It was like the worst possible hand to see the province with. You can gain a silver with Ironworks, hit 5, get another hunting lodge, get another joust. Might be the way to go if connecting the two is really where you think things are at. I'm still not a believer in the Falconers, I must say. Like, if you connect both of them next turn, which you don't, they're at the bottom of your deck. Because they're stupid. Yeah, like here you can play Hunting Lodge, and you can be gaining, landing party. Just get another monument, trash a copper. Another monument, trash a copper, buy another hunting lodge. Like, that seemed like it would have been a fine thing to be doing. So I guess now you're going to connect Joust with Province and take... Who even knows? I still hate the Falconers, even if they've worked. I mean, they didn't have to work so well, right? Like you didn't have to be getting to play them multiple times this last turn. This was very kind to be activating them for you. And your opponent still got renowned, so did it actually work? Debatable. I think I'd be gaining a monument to trash the estate there. It's unsexy to be like playing Renown and then Ironworksing for a 4 still, but estates suck. I also don't know that it really matters at all. I feel like you just get Renown here and you're like fine with whatever happens. How much money is this? Whoa, that's loud. 12, double Hunting Lodge Province. The thing is, like, Hunting Lodges really, really protect against any sort of dud possibility. Like, you get enough Hunting Lodges, who cares what happens in your hands, you will find Envoy with a village eventually. Which kind of guarantees your draw. Well, not kind of, it does guarantee your draw. And then there's other things that, like, if you stick Joust and Province together, of course you're gonna draw. So, I think I'd be happy at 12. This last card is copper. I've only taken 2 of these monuments. No, last card is a monument. I don't know about leaving a monument. Well, I think having a landing party. No, it's not a monument. It's a copper. Where am I getting monument from? I wasn't seeing the second monument over here. Yeah, I don't love playing that landing party to clear a copper. Yeah, I'm going to pretend that this Envoy would have been a Hunting Lodge. I think that's the one you just bought. I don't actually have any justification for that, but I do think that's the one you just bought. And also, it could have had a landing party with it. So suddenly, this is looking pretty okay for catstealer. Which I do not attribute to the Falconers, I attribute to decisions over on that side. Multiple of the decisions over on that side. One thing is catstealer is kind of running out of these landing parties, which have fueled these turns. So now you get things like this. They really do not believe in Hunting Lodge. That's what we're discovering, is these players are not believers in Hunting Lodge. Coronet activates landing parties. It's just problematic otherwise. Or not activates, but top decks the landing parties. Like, you're not going to draw them this turn, but next turn, yeah, that's fine. The problem is, like, are you even going to get a next turn? I don't know. Probably you don't buy Province here. Probably you're buying Joust, maybe? I mean, the other side's going to get, what, the other one that says plus buy on it, the gold one. Domain, I think? Yeah, Domain. Maybe Turnip. Domain plus Turnip may be enough to spike 24 with this deck. We'll see. Or Domain plus another draw reward may be needed also. Not sure. Like, we see, what's its face? House Carl might be the thing that gets taken here, and then Domain a little bit later. Certainly those are the two that I think you want, but I guess also you don't actually need the plus buy. What am I talking about? You have the plus buy from Imperial Envoy, although Domain still might be the best payload increaser. No, the best payload increaser is going to be Courser with its plus 4 silvers. Alright, I'm assuming that this is going to be a win if you take Courser, take 4 silvers out of it, and hit 24. That's my assumption. I don't know if anybody's going to bother checking me on that, but I think it can be done. What? One. No, Pillage. Don't do that. Maybe you need the spoils. I don't know. You take Courser, two coins, plus 4 silvers. Oh, maybe the Pillage was needed. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So you would have been a bit short. Actually, you did need the Pillage. You need the Pillage. Alright, well, that one kind of went, I think, as expected. I was not an approver of the Falconers. I think that ended at, 3-3? So it was the worst result for everybody. And they will be depending on their last matches to get out of the, not basement, but sure, basement of the division, although it's certainly still close. It can happen. Both of them are still a game out of that safe spot, so lots of room to get there, and with that, hopefully you had an exciting time watching, listening to this, and I'll see you all sometime later.